What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TWA Motorsports, and today, man, we are working on the Buick. Now, I know, guys, you want to see me work on the Corvette, the Trans Am, the truck, but the Buick needs some love, guys. I went to start it this morning. It did not want to start. It's been doing this a couple times, and I thought I would make a quick video because I want to show you guys all the stuff that I have to encounter on a daily basis. Working on daily drivers is not my favorite thing, but man, this thing is a tank. The poor thing has not been washed in a while. I had to put new tires on it not long ago, and it's going to have a battery. Now, normally I would order my battery online, but I had to use a local parts store just because I'm afraid tomorrow morning it's not going to start. The weather has finally cooled off here. Guys, it is 65 degrees, which is awesome. I actually thrive in this weather. I absolutely love it. And anyway, we went down to the local parts store and we got a battery. Let's see if the trunk will even open. It is sitting right there. So now what we need to do is we need to get the old battery out of place. And it is the weirdest thing. The batteries in these cars are actually behind or under the back seat. They're not under the hood like most cars. They're not in the trunk like some newer cars. And excuse, like I said, all the dirt and mess, guys. It is gross, I know. But let's pop the seat bottom out because that is where the actual battery is located. The other thing that we need to do is, when it didn't want to start this morning, it finally did after like a couple tries. It barely started, but it did get started. But we've got a check engine light. Now, I'm sure it has something to do with low voltage or something weird. Chances are it's going to clear out, or the light will at least go off when I unplug the battery and the amount of time it's going to take. But I've got my HP tuner set up, which is an awesome part of HP tuners. It has a scan feature, which works on any car. You don't have to have a license for it. And so I'm going to kind of show you that process as well. But I'm going to set you up on the tripod, and let's get this back seat out of the way. So to get the back seat out, you literally just pull up on the front. It's clipped in. And then, I don't know what we're going to see back here, guys. Quarters and Legos. Once we get that out of the way, now you have access and you can see our battery, which it does have a vent tube. I was kind of surprised that generally these batteries, the newer style batteries, are a glass mat battery, and so they don't require venting, but this does have a vent, so we will be hooking that back up. But I need to go get what looks like a couple 10mm wrenches probably, and this is the original battery, so pretty good lifespan on the original battery, to be quite honest with you. So I'm gonna go grab a couple wrenches and we'll get this thing out of place. So it's actually an 8mm, and you can see I popped this off, but go ahead and take loose both the 8mm that you have here. Get both these off. Well, I say we're gonna get them both off. Thought for sure I could spin it out by hand. There's one. I like to use a ratcheting wrench. Just seems to be a lot easier. Once we get both of these out, then you have a 13 that actually holds it in place. You see that down there? So we can go ahead and take the 13 out, and then the battery should at least be loose, and then we'll worry about unhooking the vent. You can see it's vented on both sides. There's a vent that comes here and on the other side here and goes down to basically a T that goes underneath the car. So now you can see I've got that bracket out that held it in, and I also pulled the vent tube up, and so we're going to be able to lift the battery out all as one unit, and then we'll hook the vent up to the new battery before we go back in. So we have the new battery here side by side with the old battery, and the vent, guys, it just unplugs off the side. That's your vent tubes there. So relatively simple to switch it back and forth. Now, a lot of people may wonder why it has a vent. Well, when you're charging a battery, so when you're going down the road and the battery's charging, it actually does produce a little bit of a gas, and they do this to keep the gas out of the car, so it vents down below the car, basically outside, so no risk of any injury if the battery was charging while you're driving down the road. But now that we've got that swapped over, which like I said is relatively simple, just push it on. Let's put this one back in the car, get everything bolted down. Once we have it into place, you want to slide it forward so it catches the front mount. There is a mount on the front, it's just a clip. Then we can go ahead and put our connector in back down to hold it. If I can reach my hands in here. We'll get it tightened down. And I'm going to go ahead and push the vent tube back under the car. Just a hole here, like I said. Make sure that it gets in there. And we can go ahead and hook the battery back up itself. I still have these little plugs in there, but go ahead and hook the battery back up. And before I put the seat bottom back in, I'm going to go ahead and run the vacuum over everything back here. Try to get some of this junk out anyway. Now once you have everything vacuumed out, and you don't have to do that, that's just my preference, it's time to put the seat in. Now the seat goes in, the back end of the seat goes in first. Make sure to get your seat belts and line them up in the proper spots here. The back goes all the way in, and then we just snap the bottom down. And we are good to go. Now that everything's plugged back in, and guys, it is so dusty up here. I need to vacuum up here too. We're gonna go ahead and try to test it. Hopefully everything went well. Put the key in, and we are good. That is way better. It was going way slower before. And our service engine soon light, turn the air off so you guys can hear. Our service engine soon light was over here, and we're gonna have to recalibrate our compass, which just means you go to calibration, drive it in a bunch of circles. But as you can see, my light is not on, but it does store those codes. So we are going to go grab my laptop and my HP tuners cable, which plugs in down here below the dash. I'll show you in just one second. And we're going to scan and see exactly what that code was and then completely delete it from the system. So I tried to flip the car around so we had less sun beating in on us, but there's a couple different options. Obviously, you guys can go to your local parts store. They can probably hook you up with an OBD2 scanner. You can buy some cheaper options. The cool thing though, like I said about HP tuners, and I have the older version, is it has a scanner built in. So all we need to do is plug in to our port down here, and you can see we're getting power, and I'm gonna hook it to my laptop over there. Now, I said before it works on every vehicle. It doesn't work on every vehicle, but it works on a majority of all the GM stuff that I have, like 96 and up. So I'm gonna plug this in, we'll pull that up, and we'll run the codes and see what they were. All right, we are now ready to give the Buick Lucerne more power. No, I'm just kidding. So once you open the scanner, it looks the same on just about every vehicles. We go up here to the connect option, and of course it's not going to connect because I didn't turn the key to run. Should have done that. And it actually did connect. All right, so I'm going to go up here to what looks like a service engine light, and you go over here to DTC for diagnostic trouble codes, and we are going to read those trouble codes. And guess what? It says none detected. That's interesting. We'll hit it again. None detected. So chances are it was a misfire or a low voltage that is now gone. Like I said, I figured it would go away while we unhook the battery, but there are no codes as of now. If there were codes, guys, there is a clear DTC down below. All you have to do is hit that clear option and those codes will go away. But a really cool tool to have. Like I said, you don't have to spend, HP Tuners is kind of expensive if you're not modifying any kind of other vehicle, but it does have this built into it, which is really nice when friends or family or I have something like this daily driver. But I think we're all finished here. I'm going to close this down. Okay guys, we are all finished up. Relatively simple process, to be quite honest with you. And then, like I said, I know that you guys do not want to see me work on this thing, but we have to keep these daily drivers running so we can drive those while we're working on this junk. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was informative for the people that need to change a battery on one of these. Honestly, the biggest part is trying to find where the battery is located. I knew that because I worked at a GM dealer for quite a while. But if you don't know, under the back seat is where it's at. Doesn't take a lot of tools. 8mm ratcheting wrench, a 13mm with a pretty good size extension on it, just because you have to go down at least the depth of the battery, and then taking the old one out, putting the new one in, and getting it back going. Now, as far as clearing the codes, like I said, you have a couple options. I will list some scanners down below, some cheap ones that you can get. Obviously, if you don't want to get HP tuners, I would understand that, because that is a way more expensive program. I think it's like $600, and if you're working on something like this, you really don't need it. But it does come in handy if you're working on something like this and any of this stuff, because you do have that tuning option. And well, like I said, it's kind of nice to have. But like I said, guys, if you do like it, smash that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, go down and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you ring the bell icon, that way you're notified every single time we drop a new video. And well, stay tuned, because we won't be working on this. Well, okay, yeah, we will not be working on this. It's going to need some brakes soon, but stay tuned. We'll be working on something cool next.